This is not supposed to be today's deck profile, but after playtesting it, I really fell in love with this deck, so I decided to make some last minute changes. I stayed up really late to make this materials for recording, so I apologize if I'm a little bit tired today. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. The Vegito starter deck leader is such a great leader in my opinion because his effect is just so generic. He has the ability to awaken early. If you're playing it correctly, you can afford to tap out with him, and at the same time, he's able to give your Unison card a boost. So for today's deck profile, we are going to be taking the Vegito leader and we are going to be abusing the hell out of the mechanics. Like I said before, this is not supposed to be the original deck profile to be featured today, but after playtesting it, I got so excited I decided to change everything. I am really excited to show you this one. I hope I got you excited too. See you guys after the short intro. Hey guys, I want to welcome you back from the intro. So we are going to be talking about the leader right now to understand the leader, because in order to abuse something, we have to understand it. It sounds a little bit psychotic, but I think you understand what I'm trying to say here. Alright, so Vegito, when this card attacks, you draw a card. Is it busted? It is very busted. It is super biased because you need to attack a leader card, but not this guy, not this guy. This guy, when he attacks, you get to draw a card. And his second auto is even crazier. During your opponent's turn, if one of your blue Unison card will be placed in the drop area, or one of your blue battle card is removed by your opponent's skill or KO'd, you may flip this card over. If you do so, you get to draw 2 cards. So you could just flip it over and draw 2 cards. You could awaken turn 1 technically. Alright, so when your life is 4 less, he has the ability to awaken normally also, like the other peasants. You get to draw a card and then switch up to one of your blue energy and flip this card over. And his awaken side is crazy. When this card attacks, you get to draw a card, standard fair, activate battle, tap 2, choose one of your blue Unison card and gets 10k and triple strike for the battle. So you swing with a blue Unison card. If your opponent doesn't negate or doesn't do anything, tap 2, it gets 10k and triple strike, just like that. This is one thing that we are going to be abusing right here. So auto once per turn. If it's your opponent's turn, when one of your blue Unison card will be placed in your drop area, or one of your blue battle card is removed from your battle area by your opponent's skill KO, you untap 1 and you draw 1. So technically, every single turn during your opponent's turn, you can awaken. That's crazy. That's cray tone. But this is Vegito, so I guess he gets the Vegito treatment over here. Alright, so the first thing that we're going to talk about is the blue Unison card. What are we going to be playing? We are going to, of course, be playing Janemba, Wicked Agent of Destruction. If you're asking why, it's basically his +1 ability, activate main. This card gains critical for the turn. So this card, for 2 cores, he becomes a 15k critical. With your leader, when you swing with him, if your opponent doesn't negate, tap 2, he gets 10k and triple strike. Now you're dealing with a 25k crit triple striker on the board turn. You cannot do it in turn 2 unless you untap 2 with Sensu Bean, if that's even technically possible, but I guess you know what I mean, right? So with just 2 energy, he becomes a 25k triple striker critical. A 25k crit every single turn, it's horrible, but a 25k triple striker crit is something your opponent would definitely either negate or combo out of. So this is first one. Sorry about that. And the second Unison card that we are playing is going to be SS Gotenks Absolute Unison. For 4 energy, this card, I think it's highly underrated. He is really good. For 4 energy, you play him down -2, you get to draw 2 cards, and you have a 20k hitter 2 times on the board. And with your leader's ability, if any one point of time your opponent does not negate, remember your leader's ability is activated for the duration of the battle, so it does not stick. But when you swing him the first time, your opponent negates, that's good. Swing him the second time, your opponent doesn't negate, tap 2, 30k triple striker just to finish the game, and you get to draw 2 anyway, so that's pretty good. He is an extremely good card in my opinion. Alright, so let's talk about the battle cards option. So the battle card options are there to protect your Unison card. Your Unison card now becomes a very high priority target. Your opponent wants to take out your Janemba. Your opponent wants to take out your Janemba because they don't want to deal with a 25k crit on every single turn. So this is why we are there to protect the battle cards are there to protect your Unison card. So the first the first battle card that we're going to be playing is Kaioken Son Goku Returns. He has Revive, Blue and Green. This is a Revive deck. I will explain it later, but we are going to be focusing on the auto right now. KO this card. When one of your opponent's battle card attacks with energy cost 6 or less, you get to negate the attack. So what you want to do here is that you want to play him on turn 2, not your Unison card on turn 2, this guy on turn 2. When your opponent swings, negate the attack, and then you negate the attack, then you get to untap 2, not untap 2, you get to draw 2 and flip your leader over, and then now you have a awakened leader, and then you get 2 cards in your hands, just like that. And Revive would definitely work in this deck, because when a battle card with Revive, it's KO'd, so it is considered KO'd, and then you get to activate Revive and then put him back on the board. What is Revive? It's when you put a card, you either put 2 cards that is blue and green, or you put a card that is blue and green into your drop area, and then he comes back into play. You get to replay him again from your drop area. So maybe things like Healing Pot would be good, because this is also considered green card, so you get to draw the extra 1 card, but you don't kind of need it in this deck. And of course, we are going to be playing with Dr. Giro Cybernetic Rebuff, one of my favorite cards in the game. Blocker, when this card is placed in your drop area from your hands by your opponent's skill or by your Revive skill. So if your opponent discard 1, discard this, it comes onto the board. If you're this guy, you kind of KO this card, you put this card on the board. Now, for turn 2, your leader is awakened. You have Kaioken on the board again to negate another attack, and then you have Dr. Giro Cybernetic Rebuff, a 15k blocker on the board. If this is not value, I don't know what is value in Value Town. Alright, but there is also a third school of thought on how to make sure your opponent swings at your battle card. Instead of a Unison card, it is to play something so toxic that your opponent wants to take care of it. This guy, 3 costs, he has a barrier, 15k. When this card attacks, your opponent chooses 1 card in their hands and plays them in their drop area. So your opponent wants to take care of him, because the more your opponent doesn't take care of this guy, it is going to be either more problematic. So your opponent has to choose. Do they want to stop something which is going to swing at 15k, 25k, triple strike, critical, or your opponent has to stop something which is 15k and make your opponent discard 1 every single turn. So your opponent has to, I don't want to be your opponent, make your opponent chooses. It is very interesting to see what your opponent does, right? And in any case, if this card is KO, this card has Revive, so you get to untap 1, draw 1, put something that is blue and green onto your drop area. Hopefully is Dr. Giro Cybernetic Rebuff, and now he is on the board with another blocker. And if your opponent is gonna swing at this guy again, I don't know how he is, maybe he has Shinsha wrong Unison card, you can also use Dr. Giro Cybernetic Rebuff to block if that attack is going in. It's good. It's a pretty fun interaction over here for you, not for your opponent. And since we are going to be playing with blue and green, why not we play the blue and green super combo? Because it's Android 18 Bionic Blitz, it's Super Babe Android 18 herself, and one of the best super combo in the game. So if your leader is blue or green, when you combo with this card from your hands, your opponent chooses 1 card from their hands and places it in the bottom of the deck. So I've been hiding a secret from you guys with this deck. You think, oh, this deck is good because it's gonna swing with Janemba, and then he's gonna go tanks him and to finish the game. Yes and no. If your opponent has no answer for Janemba, that's good. But put yourself in your opponent's shoes, right? Your opponent, you would swing with like Unison. Your opponent would be like, okay, I need at least minimum 2 cards to combo out of a 25k Unison. Or I have a blocker on the board, but most people doesn't play blocker. If they don't have a blocker on the board, they need to take care of it by negating it. So they will be spending hopefully they will be spending most of the negates on your Unison card, because that is the trick. That is the bunny in the trap. Because that is the bait. Yep. Because your real game finisher is not your Unison card. If it's your Unison card, that's good. But if it's not your Unison card, it's not your Unison card. The real game finisher is actually, we are going higher and higher. So Android 18 Bionic Blitz. So if your opponent's comboing against your Gohan and Piccolo, then you can Bionic Blitz, then bring Son Goku and Son Gohan out because now your opponent has to discard one. Every single turn he has to negate or use something in his hands to combo out of Janemba. Then they have to deal with Gohan with discard one. If they swing at Gohan, you Bionic Blitz, makes him discard one. Then Son Gohan comes out and rival blue and green when your opponent play this. When you play this card, choose up to one of your opponent's battle card with energy 5 or less, up to one. You can choose not to place in your opponent's drop area in rest mode. Then your opponent chooses one card from their hands and places it in a drop area. So this combo, your opponent discard 2. But that's not the end of it. Remember I said that hopefully your opponent spends all his negating Janemba, because we are going to be playing Ultra Instinct Saiyan Son Goku Evolve 2 cost, place one card from your hands in the drop area, blue Son Goku with energy 5 or more. So this is a blue Son Goku with energy of 5. And he has triple strike. The worst part of this is your opponent can't combo for the duration of this card battle. That means when you swing with this guy, if your opponent does not have a negate, it's GG, because your opponent cannot combo out of this card. And when this card evolves into this card, return all of your opponent's battle card to their owner's hand. So this is the game ender over here. So you're gonna swing with Janemba. If your opponent has no out for that, that's how you can win the game. So you put all your battle cards are there to defend, right? Kaioken is there to negate. Then you have Cybernetic to block, and when you block or negate with KO, you get to untap one, and then you draw one. And if your opponent is negating your Janemba, then you Ultra Instinct sign him. Hopefully he does not have negates in his hands anymore. Then you swing with him. He said no negate, then you take out your hands and you shake him, except if he's playing yellow, because be careful of that Vegeta, that yellow extra card. But other than that, it's almost GG. So that's basically the deck. It's so simple, right? So the whole idea here is this: that you swing with, you abuse the 25k triple strike. So you swing, and your opponent's negate, and then you play something very toxic on the board like Son Gohan, bait him, and then you go for Ultra Instinct Sign, clear his board, and then you just finish the game just like that. Is it fun? It is fun. It is a fun deck, because I don't think that this is a meta, but I believe that this deck does have a local hero status over here. Alright, so I hope you like the deck, and give me a like if you like the deck, if you like what you're seeing here. I really appreciate it. If not, guys, have a nice day and see you guys in the next video. Alright, ciao, bye.